Live. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 17, 18 minutes. If not, you're stuck with me until we start at 6 minutes after the hour. So, yeah. It is a balmy 23 degrees inside the studios this morning. And that's the reason I have a jacket on, for crying out loud. Morning, Waylon. Mr. Bulgy, good morning. I hope both of I don't know if I sent Waylon it, but I think I did. My Valentine's Snapchat yesterday. Hopefully, you guys got that. What was I going to do here? Oh, look up the temperature on our weather beacon up here. Morning, Karen. Hope everything's well and live on in Mobridge. Here we got set at 17 below, wind chill of 31 below right now. And we got some snow last night, too. Yes, it was awesome. Okay. Morning, Master John. Burr. Yeah. She's a chilly one. You guys should feel lucky because I sent you a Valentine. I haven't done that since grade school. Sent another guy a Valentine's Day announcement. Well, let's see. According to the ivermectin rules and regulations, it says, where's the storage? Right here. Store anywhere from 59 degrees to 86 degrees. It is 23 degrees in the studio this morning, so I'm not following the directions correctly. Ooh, she's like syrup this morning. She's thick. That's terrible. $50 degrees in Arizona. Whew. Yikes. That is some funky tasting stuff. Morning, Brian. It's 67 degrees in my massage chair. You going to fill in for me next Saturday, Flath, or what? You going to take over the show so I can go to San Antonio without having to worry about doing a Saturday morning program or not? Live from your massage chair? Oh, man. It's chilly in here. Let's see. I think I got everything ready to go here. I walked into Shields Sporting Goods yesterday in Rapid City. And I have full intention. I have one rifle I want to set up before calving starts with a thermal. And I want to upgrade. And I went in and I looked at the new Pulsar Thermion. They only had the XL50. And it is clear and it is very impressive. However, it still freeze frames as you move around. Just like, yeah, it still freeze frames. So I don't know what to do. They did not have the XL60. Otherwise, I'd have been brought that home. Where'd all the snow come from? Okay. Don't listen to the guys on the radio. Okay. All right, here. Possibly. Okay. I am not going hog hunting. I have, no. I am going to San Antonio for a broadband NTCA conference and continuing education. I'm basically sitting in classes for 3-4 days. Morning, Eric. The weather here, it is, it's chilly. What did I have here? It is currently 17 below with a 32 below wind chill is what I'm showing here on the weather station, according to NDSU Extension. And we got some snow last night. About an inch. Oh, it's still snowing. 1 to 2 inches of snow last night, somewhere in there. Yeah. So let me know, Jesse, if you can or can't, because we have to do a little test run on my YouTube channel that they want second person verification sometimes on this. When Jamie Breck tried to do it, he could not get on the YouTube. He did the night before, the next day, I don't know, something happened, so he had to go into studio. And if you have to go into studio, I got to let all the other stations know that they have to take it from a different feed at that point. So let me know. We can do some test running. All right. Let's see here. Let's get old Johnny Arman on. Johnny Yuma was a rebel. I think that's it. I think he's the only one I have in memory.
Good morning.
Johnny Yuma.
How you doing?
Pretty darn decent.
How's the weather out there?
She's chilly out here this morning. It's got
it's cold.
23 degrees in the studio. 25. I warmed it up 2 degrees since I started this morning.
Don't you keep the heat on out there?
There is no heat. I got a little milk house heater out here, and I forgot to turn it on last night. So she's chilly out here.
That is chilly.
Yeah.
I've been doing that cryotherapy.
Okay.
That you go into, it's kind of like doing a ice bath, but I hate water and ice. I mean, that's just brutal. But this is negative 124 when you go in it, and it doesn't. I can make it 2 minutes, and my skin starts to feel like I'm like getting like super cold, like it's almost that burn feel. But it's not like being outside in North Dakota when it's 30 below with the wind. But it's supposed to help your inflammation and stuff. And the one thing I have noticed is like being old and your socks, when you take your socks down, you get that indentation.
Yeah.
You probably don't get it because you're not old, but I get it bad. And it's taken that away almost all.
Huh.
It's supposed to be just like the ice bath.
So what you're saying is me going out and feeding cows every morning is basically therapy?
Yep.
Okay. I'll stick with that. You would not get me. I did a polar plunge one time in my life. You will never get me to do that again.
No, I don't. I've never done one because when I was a kid, I remember diving into my mom's pool, and it was still like springtime, and even being in the river when it's 60 degrees, it just takes your freaking breath away.
Yep.
You can't breathe.
Yeah.
But when you go in this, it's not bad. I mean, you got to take a deep breath, but it's cold. You're basically in a big refrigerator.
None of that sounds therapeutic to me, John. Not a single bit of it.
I don't know. I'm trying to. My joints hurt so bad. My knee. I'm sure I have to have knee surgery. I was talking to Wayne about it, and I was just like, "That's just so freaking long. 6 months." I'm like, "Holy shit."
Well, do it now, and then you're ready for hunting season.
I talked to Dave Meyer's wife, and she goes, "That was easy. I wish I'd have done both at one time." I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" Tough.
It's surprising. I got a neighbor of mine. He just had hip surgery, and he's just back at it. And he's walking straight, and it's crazy what they can do now. Here, stations will do the 7:00 countdown here in 10 seconds. Sounds like a good way to get a second set of tonsils. Stepping in the ice water. 7:00 on the nose here on Mark.
I've never heard that before. That's funny.
Yeah. Not for me. This next few days, cold snap here that's just hard on things, hard on vehicles, hard on the cows.
Oh, it's hard on everything. I'm we've had a good winter, but this, I always tell when it's tough is when you don't let the kids out at school and it gets to be a long stretch. It's been like a week or more.
Yeah.
And I'm over it.
Yeah. Eric Sarbauzik out of South Dakota says, try getting rid of gluten. He said that helps your joints out quite a bit too.
Yeah. What's gluten's in everything, isn't it?
No. Gluten's a wheat protein. So things that have wheat in it probably, but it's a marketing strategy. I'll tell you that. Like get a canister of oatmeal. It says gluten-free on it. Well, no shit. It's oats. There is no gluten, but it's a marketing strategy they did. Waylon says I did a polar plunge, not on purpose, on the Cannonball River during deer season.
That's a shocker.
I could say I did it on the Little Missouri, but I would fall in 2 inches.
Yeah.
There's not much water. It's not very deep on the Little Missouri right now.
That happened to Russ one time. Guys got to be careful because if you don't got a vehicle or something, you freeze. Like his pants were like, he had to take his pants off because he couldn't walk because they froze so fast. And
you had to look at Russ with no pants on. So
yeah, that was kind of scary.
How's Russ doing? I haven't seen him in a long time.
He's doing well. He's retired and enjoying it. He said he's busier than ever. So he's been taking care of some of the ranch stuff, which is nice.
That's what everybody says. They say you get busier when you retire.
Well, I think it's like you do all the things that you didn't do. I don't know. His kids helping him with their houses and things like that. So hopefully I'll find that out in a couple of years. But you've been retired forever, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're a rancher. You guys don't work. You guys get on the tractor and drive around a little bit.
I don't even get on a tractor. Tractor. If I can't feed it with the pickup, it doesn't get fed.
There you go. He's got one of those flip bale feeders. One of those big.
No. Yeah, I just do the bale bed. I just roll out feed. Brian Warner says, Dad says it's because you never get a day off when you retire.
Yeah, that's true. I think retirement is, I always tell people, I said, if you don't have something to do when you retire, the people that I see that retire and don't have anything to do, they don't do very well. They got to have something.
Yeah.
It's just sitting around the house.
Got to keep moving. Yeah.
Yep. So what are we talking about today? What do we got on the agenda? Anything?
Oh, let's talk about what you did for Valentine's Day. See if we can PG it down a little bit.
Sure. Sit and watch TV and drink coffee.
Hey, you can call it what you want to call it, I guess,
No, that's what you call it. At my age, that's what you call it. You don't have to PG nothing down.
Oh, we'll figure something out. Talk a little bit of food plot strategizing.
Yeah. I was going to go out. I got a thermal, which is kind of fun.
Good. Yeah, I was Shields in Rapid City yesterday, and I looked at a model that I'm kind of looking at getting, and boy, the technology sure has changed from my first thermal to this one.
Yeah, because I paid $2,400 for mine. And I shot a coyote at 300 yards, and I don't know what more you need than that. I know you can spend like $8,000 and see a flea on them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't want to dive in too deep
Oh yeah.
until I figured I want
head first, man.
Right. And then now, I know it's good when it's cold, but God, it's just, tough getting out there and going out when it's 20 below and trying to hunt a coyote. I'm going to wait till it warms up maybe a little bit. I was going to go to the ranch this weekend.
I tell you, last weekend,
game cameras.
I helped in the morning when I fed cows, and there was 5-6 coyotes on that first one, and then I ran to a bull sale and came back afterwards, and Jesse and Tommy said that on the whole day they saw like 30 coyotes, and almost every set they had coyotes. So
you're kidding me.
There's a lot of them this year.
Golly. Well, and I'm just learning too.
So all right. 30 seconds to showtime here, John.
Okay.
30 seconds on mark. All right. I'm going to turn you down there, John. Stand by. I'm going to clear my throat so I can get going. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Heard all across the beautiful Dakota Territory on stations like KGFX out of Pierce, South Dakota, KOLY, Mobridge, K-Fire 550 celebrating 100 years on K-Fire 550 AM in Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB 910 in the Minot area, and the Western Edge KLTC. Good to have you along there and around the world on my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and tuning in here on a Saturday. I don't even want to say beautiful Saturday morning because it's about 38 below with the wind chill at the ranch here this morning. So plenty chilly, a little bit of snow last night. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest here this morning. And if you want to join in on the conversation and questions, he will answer everything from hunting advice to dating advice. 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682. Good morning, John. How are you doing?
Good morning, buddy. I'm doing good.
Well, dating advice. Valentine's Day yesterday. What do you have for the young guys to give them some advice on how to treat their Valentine?
Oh, gosh. Huh? I wouldn't even know what to say. Wouldn't know what to say. Buy them a ring and make them happy.
Buy them a ring, make them happy. There's the advice for today, the young guys. So people like, I don't know, like Levi Nelson listening, you think that's good advice for him?
Yeah. I think he's got a steady girlfriend now. I'm waiting for the wedding engagement.
All right.
I'm waiting for a TikTok reel from him about being married.
There you go. Put it all on social media so everybody knows it's the truth. So,
yep.
Well, let's talk a little bit about food plots here coming around the springtime, even though it doesn't feel like it here today or the next 5 days probably here. But springtime is going to be around the corner sooner than we know it. What do you have planned for food plots this year?
Well, I last year, again, experienced different things, and I'm always going to put soybeans in. I rotate soybeans and corn. When you look at North Dakota late season, soybeans are, when it gets super cold, they hit the soybeans. Right now I got trail cameras going off, and I'm just super excited because I'm hoping these elk that are on there are going to knock off one of their antlers. They've been on camera for the last couple of nights out in the soybean field that's, been harvested, and there's still beans on the ground, and there's not that much snow. So super high in protein. They're loving that. And I know they hit the cornfields early this year. My neighbor, when he combined, I think his combine dropped a few cobs here and there, and the deer were loving it there. So soybeans and corn are always good, but I still love the brassicas. I experienced last year, I put in some oats and turnips, and from the start of August all the way through now, I still have deer in those food plots.
Really?
Yep. Okay. I've been, and the thing is, I tell people, if you don't have the equipment and you're not sure, turnips are like weeds and they grow. I mean, you don't have, even if you just disc it up, and break it up. If you get that seed in the ground, they're going to grow. It's kind of amazing. A lot of times when you do a field, like your outside row, where you kind of flop everything over onto the sod, it will still grow there, and some of the best turnips grow there. So oats and turnips is great. You use oats as a cover crop. That animals like the oats, the birds, and the deer will eat it. But the turnips, they hit those tops. They'll nibble on, during the summertime. But once it freezes, it kind of turns sugary, and they love it. And then they keep on at those turnips. And like I said, my turnip field, I just had probably an acre one I tried in a different spot. And the only mistake I made is I put it too close to the cabin, so they weren't coming in during daylight during hunting season. But man, did they hammer it!
Really? Now, are you seeing any mule deer coming in on any of these food plots, or is it predominantly whitetail and elk?
No, the mule deer like the turnips. Late season, when it's cold, they're in the soybeans big time. Not this year, but last year. When we were cold, we had a couple cold snaps and I had some soybean fields. We'd have majority of mule deer were in our, soybeans. So when it gets cold out, they'll come into those soybean fields. I have them in soybean. I don't see them in cornfields. Not very often do I see them in cornfields, and I don't know why, but the soybean fields, they're in there and they like the turnips also.
It's interesting. How big a food plot would you consider somebody putting in? At least a minimum size, or what's the maximum size? What would you call?
Well, I would say, like I said, I have ones that I call kill plots. They're a quarter acre. And if you can keep them fenced out, and keep the pressure off of them until the season, and then, like an electric fence, you can double fence it and then open it up during season. It does well. But even with an acre with turnips, there's a lot of forage in there. An acre of soybean fields is going to get smoked off. But, corn and soybeans, I would say you're going to have to go like around 5 acres. Okay. Otherwise, they eat it out too fast because they'll eat it. The cornfields, we have a couple cornfields where they come out of the draws, and you can just see as they work their way up. By the time it's supposed to be growing, half of the food plot is gone because they've nibbled off all the plants as it was growing. So, brassicas, I think you can get away with smaller fields because there's more forage compared to the soybeans and the corn.
Seems like those soybeans have been the big hit. No matter where you go in the United States, if you see a food plot, you always see somebody putting soybeans in.
Yeah, you do. And I've watched these other guys, and they do all kinds of stuff. But it's like you just, soybeans and corn out east. I'd hunted out east this year, and everything is soybeans and corn. Yeah. And they rotate it, and they're always in those soybean fields, and they're always in the corn fields. You don't see many grain fields out there, and I plant some millet and stuff like that. And the deer go in there, but that's not what they prefer. They'll go in there during stages of it, when it's growing. But I've used barley. Beardless barley works well because they like the barley. And it's kind of funny how that little, the beards on them are kind of prickly. So they prefer the ones with, beardless. But even if you don't use beardless, they love barley.
Yeah. If a person is trying to target mule deer, what would be your go-to for those?
Boy, I would have to say if you could, alfalfa field, you always find mule deer and alfalfa. Mm-hmm. I actually planted some last year. I'm hoping it took well enough that it's going to come in this year because we just don't have any alfalfa on our place right now. And I was trying to get in a couple 3 to 4 acre plots in some of those strategic areas where the mule deer come and the whitetail. But like I said, I know that mule deer absolutely love the alfalfa.
Yeah. And the elk do too. If you find anybody that has good alfalfa fields, you're probably going to see them in the early mornings out there too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You're getting more and more elk in your country, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those deals. I'm not sure how happy I am about it because I can't shoot them. We tried to take a couple gentlemen. We had a couple gentlemen from out in Wahpeton area, and I bet they spent 5 weekends or more out there. We were trying to kill a cow. Yeah. And it just, we have a population of them, but they move so much. And when you have a 2,000 acre ranch, they're not always on there. And we got close one time. And then Russ even took them out to the Badlands on some property. He has a place to hunt. And they saw 35 bulls and no cows. And he had just seen the cows with the bulls the week before, but then they separated. and we didn't have any luck. But like I said, they're fun to see. They're majestic. They're beautiful. But man, they wreck things.
Yeah, they eat a lot of mineral too, and there's no doubt about that. When you start getting, we have the winter bedding area for a lot of the cow elk out in this country here, but we'll talk more about that. We got some questions coming in on food plots as well. We'll consider those coming up here after the break. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is the guest today. And if you would like questions, comments, you can write them on my chat window on YouTube. You can text it to me at 701-425-6651 or call in 888-9-DAKOTA. Back after these. Smith's Saddle Butte Ranch President's Day Bull Sale is Monday, February 17th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at the Bowman Livestock Marketing, Bowman, North Dakota. Selling 60 registered yearling Angus bulls, sires like Baldridge Goalkeeper, Hoover Know-How, Objective 292, 44 Strategic Advantage, plus many others. Travis and Rebecca want to work with producers to give you the opportunity for a value-added program. Bid online at Cattle USA. Smith's Saddle Butte Ranch President's Day Bull Sale, Monday, February 17th, 1 p.m. at Bowman Livestock. Quality bulls without the BS. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their upcoming auctions. February 17th features 154 acres in Oliver County, also 80 acres in Mercer County, 151 acres in Emmons County, and 351 acres in Dual County. For more information and upcoming auctions, go to the brand new website at pifers.com. The Wassum Red Angus annual production sale coming up on Thursday, February 20th, 2 p.m. Mountain Time at the Wicks Barn south of Richardson, North Dakota. Selling nearly 70 bulls with sire power from WSM Playmaker, Asset 1276, and many more. Also selling will be 130 open commercial heifers plus 13 open registered heifers. For more information and videos, go to wassumredangus.com. And you can always bid with confidence on sale day at DV Auction. For powerful, profitable, and practical cattle, I'll see you at the 14th annual Wassum Red Angus sale, Thursday, February 20th, 2 p.m. at the Wicks Barn, south of Richardson. The Sorensen Ranch Production Sale, Monday, March 5th, 2 p.m. Central Time at Sydney Livestock, Sydney, Montana. They're your source for Sim Angus bulls that are bred for docility, longevity, fertility, and calves that'll push the scale down. Selling 58 registered Sim Angus bulls, 50 commercial open heifers, 6 bred registered heifers, and 8 registered open heifers. Call Lauren at 701-641-1140. You can find them on Facebook or DV Auction for a full catalog. The Sorensen Ranch, your source for composite Simmental bulls. Sale day, March 5th, 2 p.m. Central, Sydney Livestock. Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. The Cadiz Ranch second annual Angus seed stock sale is Sunday, March 9th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at Lemon Livestock. Selling 50 Black Angus bulls with sires like Ellingson Brickhouse, SAV Downpour, Ellingson Badlands, Ellingson Navigator, and Sits Resilient. Whether you're looking for cow bulls or heifer bulls, the Cadiz Ranch has you covered. For videos and a catalog, go to DV Auction. The Cadiz Ranch second annual Angus seed stock sale coming up on Sunday, March 9th, Lemon Livestock.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. When that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors continues on a Saturday morning across the Dakota Territory. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures Television is my guest. John, we have some questions about food plots. Are you ready? How many years have you been putting food plots in right now?
Oh gosh, well, we've been doing the show 23 years, probably longer than that. I mean, I've always been putting in something. I bet 30 years.
Yeah. So you've tried a few different things. So let's go to some questions here. Eric says, what about good bedding grass? All of my neighbors plant crops, so I was trying to get them to bed down in a spot in the pasture. Never thought about that. How about bedding areas?
Well, a lot of guys talk about switchgrass. And if you can get that established, it's just a tall grass. It's supposed to be good, but we've also, and like Shelby down in South Dakota, they kill a lot of deer in millet and sorghum fields, because if you look at millet and sorghum, it's thick. I mean, it is. When I plant it for pheasants, you almost have to plant it, space it, because it's so thick, it's hard to walk. And so those deer love bedding in there, because every time we walk for pheasants, we bump a couple deer out of there. So it would be probably a less expensive way. You just got to redo it every year.
Right. Right.
But if you want to establish, I know that they talk about switchgrass. I've never planted it.
Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about it, but a lot of guys talk about it.
So my neighbor, I put up some millet 2 years ago, and last year some sorghum on an area. And man, I've never seen so many elk bedding areas in that sorghum and millet. I mean, you want to talk about bedding areas? Holy moly! I don't know if they're eating it, but I know their bedding areas it was just thick with bedding areas on that stuff. So, yeah. Another question says, are any of these crops better winter food for deer when there's light snow cover?
Well, like I said, corn is always going to be, it's your hot feed. They're going to hit it because it's like candy. So the soybeans, if we don't get hammered, with snow, and deer are going to dig down for it, but the protein is phenomenal. And again, the turnips, this time of year, if I go down today, I'd be able to go through that field and show you all kinds of turnips that are kind of carved out, because they just, how a deer's mouth is. They just keep kind of gnawing at them, and pawing at them, and they just got like little saucers. So any of those are real good in the winter. They're going to keep hitting them until they can't.
Yeah. With the turnips, my neighbor put in some turnips and radishes one year. Have you ever tried those too?
Yeah, the radishes I have, and again, you can get a mix, and you don't have to buy any of these with the deer on them. I mean, even though that, they come in smaller bags, and if you want to do a small field, you can. But if you go to like Pulse USA or any of those guys, they've got all kinds of mixes. You can mix turnips with anything you want. Turnips is a super, super tiny seed, just like alfalfa. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't, and and I always tell people less is more. Because when you spin feeder, you're putting it on and you're like, oh, it doesn't look like much. So you go again and it's going to kill it. So just do it light, because they need room and they'll grow well. And
it's also really good for the soil too.
Oh, it's huge. That's what. Up, yeah. Yeah. A lot of the farmers and ranchers use it as cover crop after they take off their crops in the fall, and they let it grow, and it helps to displace the soil and puts compost back in it and stuff. So yeah, it's good for that.
So we were discussing some grasses. Eric says, what about something that you
don't have to plant every year. It comes back on its own every year. What would be something a guy could use there?
Well, again, I think that you're just going to have to look. The switchgrass they talk about is because it grows tall. The old school, we used to do brome grass and things like that, but brome grass is not considered a very good grass for our country, even though it grows well. I think it's kind of gotten away from it for pastures and things like that. It grows, the first few years it's real tall, and you're going to have good bedding because of the weeds and everything. But again, a guy would have to look into some kind of switchgrass or something that's going to grow, 3 to 4 feet tall, so it's got some bedding cover.
Yeah.
And it all depends on that moisture.
Yeah, that's the big thing is if you get moisture on all that. And that, a guy, you plan for the best and you just hope that you don't get droughted out. I mean, that's all we can do. Text comes in, says something I've never seen, but once a couple of years ago has happened recently. All but a few deer have moved out in the open fields a couple of miles away, and they're avoiding the shelter belts and the corn and ground and the hay ground, the ground hay piles. He's guessing predators, what would cause a lot of these deer to not be in feeding where the easy food is and the shelter is.
Well, this time of year, if we've had a pretty easy winter, and I notice even at our place, we have a lot of deer. When it's cold, they hit the south sides of these hills and these open rolling hills, and they bed on the south sides. They get that sun. There's yucca plants out there. There's all kinds of native grasses that they, of course, a deer really loves and needs. So they're probably, like I said, eating some of the stuff that they naturally do, and they don't have to go to the fields this time because it's just not been a bad winter. And it could be because of predators too.
Yeah. Yeah, something could be in that shelter belt bedded down because of this cold weather and probably don't want to be next to it. Another text comes in, says, "Good morning, Scott and John. I recently watched one of your Ultimate Outdoor Adventure episodes where you were a muzzleloader hunting in South Dakota. No need to know where you were. I'm more interested how you obtained the non-resident antlered muzzleloader tag, since non-resident are not eligible to apply for antlered muzzleloader. What am I missing navigating the South Dakota application process?"
I was hunting on one of the reservations, so that's a whole different ballgame, and that's changed too because I know the reservation we hunted, and I can't give out that information just because I hunted with Levi. They cut back on their tags, but that's where we were. We're on one of the reservations in South Dakota, so that was how we obtained a muzzleloader tag.
Okay, and that's the reservations have their own. Like their own thing, right? I mean, it's their own game and fish. It's their own licensing, and you just have to check in with the proper authorities on that. Yeah. And there's some good hunting on the reservations, though. Man,
there is. There's some of the reservations do a very good job of managing their stuff. Other ones, again, like no different than states. Some states are better than others in how they manage it, and it might be a different way than, like I said, we manage our place compared to someone else. We might manage for big bucks where other people will manage for opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Text comes in. It says, deer won't touch the treated hay to bale it wetter. Okay. So if you treat your hay so you can bale it on a wet side, Kelly says deer won't touch that. It looks great, but they won't touch it next to an average looking hay bale. So I didn't know that.
And the cows don't mind it then, I take it.
Cows don't mind it, but he claims that the deer won't touch it here. So, and one message here on YouTube says could be pressure from coyotes moving the deer out. And now a lot of people are out shed hunting. That might trigger a lot of deer to spread out that you probably haven't seen before. But I've seen all the mule deer still have their antlers. What few that have antlers in this country still have them, but I'm guessing the whitetail most of those should have been dropped by now.
Well, like I said, on trail cameras, I saw probably 2 to 3 weeks ago, I saw all the bigger bucks still had antlers, and now I don't see anything.
Okay.
Except a couple of the smaller ones, and then the elk.
Okay. Yeah, elk don't drop until April. Oh, Kelly's responding. He says cows don't really like that hay either when you put that treatment on it.
What is the treatment? Is that what's on those balers and they got
if you see a baler with
on the back?
Well, I think most of the tanks are on the front, and it just sprays. It keeps it so you can bale it wetter, and it won't get hot on you and start on fire. So, I've never done it. I've never really had to worry in the Badlands. We don't really have to worry about it. Hay getting too wet. So it's one of those things that don't stress out about.
You guys put one of those tanks under so you can bail it so it keeps some leaves on.
Yeah. We need to put water on it to get moisture so we can bail it. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, it's but anyway, keep the questions coming in here. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is be more than happy to answer any of this. We got a few more here. We're up against our next break here, John. So stand by here, grab some coffee. We'll be back with more Dakota Prairie Outdoors. You're listening right here on KGFX and Pierre, KOLY and Mobridge, KFire 550, celebrating 100 years this year in Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB Minot, and KLTC Dickinson. We'll be back with more Dakota. Now we're getting more texts. So keep them coming. We'll be back. More Dakota Prairie Outdoors right after these messages. Smith's Saddle Butte Ranch President's Day Bull Sale is Monday, February 17th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at the Bowman Livestock Marketing, Bowman, North Dakota. Selling 60 registered yearling Angus bulls, sires like Baldridge Goalkeeper, Hoover Know-How, Objective 292, 44 Strategic Advantage, plus many others. Travis and Rebecca want to work with producers to give you the opportunity for a value-added program. Bid online at Cattle USA. Smith's Saddle Butte Ranch President's Day Bull Sale, Monday, February 17th, 1 p.m. at Bowman Livestock. Quality bulls without the BS. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their upcoming auctions. February 17th features 154 acres in Oliver County, also 80 acres in Mercer County, 151 acres in Emmons County, and 351 acres in Dual County. For more information and upcoming auctions, go to the brand new website at pifers.com. The Wassum Red Angus annual production sale coming up on Thursday, February 20th, 2 p.m. Mountain Time at the Wicks Barn south of Richardson, North Dakota. Selling nearly 70 bulls with sire power from WSM Playmaker, Asset 1276, and many more. Also selling will be 130 open commercial heifers plus 13 open registered heifers. For more information and videos, go to wassumredangus.com. And you can always bid with confidence on sale day at DV Auction. For powerful, profitable, and practical cattle, I'll see you at the 14th annual Wassum Red Angus sale, Thursday, February 20th, 2 p.m. at the Wicks Barn south of Richardson. The Sorensen Ranch production sale, Monday, March 5th, 2 p.m. Central Time at Sydney Livestock, Sydney, Montana. They're your source for Sim Angus bulls that are bred for docility, longevity, fertility, and calves that'll push the scale down. Selling 58 registered Sim Angus bulls, 50 commercial open heifers, 6 bred registered heifers, and 8 registered open heifers. Call Lauren at 701-641-1140. You can find them on Facebook or DV Auction for a full catalog. The Sorensen Ranch, your source for composite Simmental bulls. Sale day, March 5th, 2 p.m. Central, Sydney Livestock. Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. The Cadiz Ranch second annual Angus seed stock sale is Sunday, March 9th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at Lemon Livestock. Selling 50 Black Angus bulls with sires like Ellingson Brickhouse, SAV Downpour, Ellingson Badlands, Ellingson Navigator, and Sits Resilient. Whether you're looking for cow bulls or heifer bulls, the Cadiz Ranch has you covered. For videos and a catalog, go to DV Auction. The Cadiz Ranch second annual Angus seed stock sale coming up on Sunday, March 9th, Lemon Livestock.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's your tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors, Saturday edition. Music right there from Breaking 8, Benny Paulson and crew here. John Arman is my guest here this morning. John, still a few more questions coming in here about food plots and what have you. And people saying that Eric says a lot of people around, maybe we should put ear tags in the deer, then they could tell which deer are which. So...
I know a guy in South Dakota that does that.
All right.
Driving down the road and see a 130-inch deer tag.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're talking about that. Scott Bulgy says that stuff that you put on to treat the hay so you can bale it wetter.
Mm-hmm.
It is propionic acid. And this one guy said the guys with dairies tried it. The cows didn't like it. Their milk production went down on that too. So interesting.
I suppose with that acid, it's got to make it taste bitter or something. It's got to change it, something.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. Another text comes in, says, Scott, let them shed hunters know it's too early to be out right now. Up along the Canadian line, we have plenty of snow. The cattails are full and the tree rows have 10-foot drifts through them. Critters are hanging in there, but this is a critical time of year when getting these deer running, looking for a shed is not good for the deer. Need to have a little more compassion and common sense. So, and that's the thing is, I only know the snow around my area and where I travel for bull sales and what have you. They've gotten hit with snow on the northern border up there by Canada.
Yep. Yeah. And again, when that gentleman's absolutely right, that's why we get, we don't want laws made. And that's what happens is when people are stupid, we get laws put in place.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason that you go shed hunting and bump deer. When I go down the ranch, it drives me nuts. Even if it's nice out, I don't like to bump the deer. I mean, you got to think, even if they've had an easy winter, they may be run down or whatever. It's like, is that shed that important? Yeah. I mean, I've never understood this shed hunting. I've never understood why it's so important to find a huge shed that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
And if you're selling them, well, like I said, just wait, give the deer a break.
Yeah.
And
it is a big business for some people. I mean, it is definitely, but, you see some states, Wayne Booth and I were discussing this here a couple of weeks ago about certain places that have actual shed hunting seasons and should we go to that or not? It's a tough one here. Text message comes in from Oren Lesmeister down there in South Dakota here with more and more guys using stripper heads on their wheat fields here. I see more deer bedded down in the tall stubble fields than he ever has before. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. The farming practices have changed over the years that they're leaving stubble now. And, I remember growing up, I mean, if we had small grains, we would cut that down with a draper header, pick it up, and then we'd bale the straw because we needed that for bedding. And now a lot of these farmers, they leave that out there for cover. And there's a lot of animals, and especially coming back through South Dakota yesterday down by that Ludlow area. Holy moly, do they have antelope down that way, pronghorns all over the place. It's fun to see that. Yeah,
it is. And like I said, and then if you remember like the days of CRP, how many deer were in that CRP those first few years when it was a lot of thistle, and that stuff was just nasty to walk, and those deer loved that.
Yeah. Mark Schriefer Red Angus Ranch here says the best way to find sheds is not to clean up a little bit of grain under the hopper bottom bit, and they'll knock them off as they come in there. And you see this too. You want to talk about sheds. You see people that actually use
whether it's chicken wire, you see people, the people actually make things to make the sheds fall in a certain area. I seen one person did a corn feeder, and he had tarp straps, so the deer had to push their head through tarp straps, and if their antlers were loose enough, they'd drop right there. And
right. And I
got a ton of them that way.
Yeah, and I think if I remember right, North Dakota might be illegal to do that.
Probably.
Yeah. I think some places are, and again, the tarp straps, super good idea. But if a guy puts a wire or something, and they just happen to get tangled up, maybe that's why they make those rules. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it always seems like we got a rule for everything.
Got a rule for everything. Yeah. That's what they said. They said maybe North Dakota should go to a every year legislature. And I'm like, that's going to be twice as many laws coming up then. And,
and that's the thing, is it works for us, but it also works against us sometimes, because anybody, if you get somebody to bring it up, can bring up something.
Yeah, exactly.
If they want, with everything that's going on in their legislature. And I've been following quite a bit of stuff, versus game and fish and just other things, whether it's the pipeline or, for whatever. There's all kinds of things. It's kind of crazy how I saw that one where I don't know what it is, but if you're a small town and you vote against that pipeline, then you're going to lose your money, which is wrong. Again, I understand if it was like a water line, giving water to people that are going to die, that's where that eminent domain is only for certain things. And I mean, it's crucial we keep that private property stuff going the right way, and not losing our rights is that's what makes this country so great, is the private property ownership and everything that goes with it.
Yeah. That's when you talk private property, and I mean, that goes from everything from pipelines to hunting. I mean, it covers such a wide gauntlet of issues that the legislature, both North and South Dakota, are looking at this year. You can bring property rights into 90% of the bills that are being brought up. And it's interesting to see that.
And what's so funny about it, and I shouldn't say funny, but I think about it, whether you're talking ranching and farming, hunting, pipelines or whatever. So you look at like deer management. Who's actually managing the deer? Yeah. Who's the ones that have been taking care of the land? Who's been given opportunities to all these people? Like I said, 90% of all white-tailed deer are shot on private land. So there's a lot of people getting to hunt all over on these farmers and ranchers. They've done a good job taking care of it. No matter what you're looking at, it's like they just don't. I just don't think there's enough credit given to the landowner. Yes, we have some bad, ownership and bad, just like everything. But the majority of the people out there farming and ranching are doing everything they don't destroy their land because it's their land. They're going to give it to their kids, so they want it to be the best, possible shape. And how we attack them with different laws and regulations and things, and we forget they're the ones that are the stewards of the land. They're the ones taking. It's not the guys in the city that are taking care of it that are bitching about it all the time.
Right. But they think so. I mean, I met that guy flying into Chicago one time, and he was a big donor to conservation groups, and by golly, he was better than any farmer and rancher out there because he gives money to it.
Yeah, so, like I said, I get frustrated with that. I think these outside organizations have too much pull, and again, I when I want to talk to, I'd like to visit with Jeb on some of these things and why there isn't more landowners, contacted, and why isn't there more landowners on these boards and commissions instead of like wildlife clubs and things like that. When 90% of our land is privately owned, why wouldn't we have more input from the ranchers and farmers, the guys that are doing everything?
Yeah. Message from Josh comes up. It says groups like Backcountry don't help matters any either. They claim to be for the hunter, but I feel they are driving a wedge between hunters and landowners.
Well, and again, I see that. It's funny. I want to see what happens here, and if they're listening, I sent them an email asking them about supporting our archery club. My bow hunting camp, and I have not heard anything back. So it's kind of funny. I kind of did it just to see if I'd get a response, because I know they don't particularly care for me because I don't always agree with what the Game and Fish says. And I'm sure there's some really good guys on that, backcountry hunters and anglers. But it's like, is it the organization that we want in North Dakota? I don't know exactly what they're doing. I know they've done some things. I think they gave $5,000 to the fires, up there. But again, is it coming from our people here in North Dakota, or is it coming from the national organization? And what
Yeah.
people forget is these national organizations, they have a lot of money, so that's how they get their foot in the door. It's kind of like a sheep or a wolf in sheep's clothing, type deal. Let's help these guys. Let's help these guys. But are they really helping? And if they are, that's great. If they're not, I don't know. It's one of those deals I think we have to be careful about organizations coming into our state.
And honestly, I don't know anything. I didn't know about this group. I just looked it up here on their website right now, so I know nothing about them. I have no idea. I didn't even know this was an organization, I guess. So this is all news to me, I guess.
They're huge out in the western part of the state. They're big into helping with the public land. They're trying to get the public land. The guy that used to run it, there's some, he was land Tawny. He had some ties to some very liberal people. They supported Barack Obama. So there's a lot of that stuff you read about.
I see. Okay.
But again, I think that, I know some of the guys out in the western part of the state, like Meat Eater and First Flight, and some of those guys are big, supporters, Randy Newberg. So I think they do some really good stuff and helping keeping the public land, public on some of those things. They're trying to get it where they, the 3.8 million acres in Montana that's landlocked to get open. So I think they do, like all organizations, there's some good and there's some bad. I just don't know enough about the North Dakota one. And I don't, like I said, I just don't know why we have these big organizations involved in some of this stuff. If there's something I'm missing, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just going through their website, but I don't know anything about them, so I'm not going to talk about it. So that's easy as that.
Yep.
So you got into thermal hunting now, I hear, huh?
I did. I was thinking I got to do something in the wintertime. The only thing I'm disappointed is I found out we got to quit March 15th.
March 15th.
And I'm like,
yeah, before calving. But I shouldn't say before calving. There's a lot of people calving now, but that date still confuses me to this date. And when we asked, they said, well, they had to put a date on, and that's when the ice houses have to come off of the ice. And for some reason, they use that date. I wish they could push it to like June 15th or something. That would make more sense, that we could use it during calving season.
I'm not sure why we don't do it year round. What's the purpose? Aren't we killing coyotes year round?
Yeah,
isn't that our purpose?
It's legal to shoot them year round. I hear you. That's a whole nother argument, Mr. Arman.
Yeah, South Dakota, I think you can shoot them year round with thermal. I know I'll end up going down that one reservation I hunted on because I know there's no rules and regulations. You can shoot them with those, and I had fun. I've only killed 2 so far because I haven't gotten out much, but it was pretty cool. I shot one at 100 yards and one at 300 yards, and I'm very impressed with how they work. I mean, like I said, it's amazing, the technology.
Yeah, technology is definitely okay. So we got to go back to the landowner thing. Are you ready? Because I got this thing about the show. This is how you know it's live, is because text messages come in. I'll try to do my best to get this information out. Kelly says, as we move forward, I think it's important for both hunters and landowners to find ways to communicate and work together. Landowners absolutely have the right to control access to their property, but the shift away from traditional open access has changed the dynamic in many small communities. Whether it's through relationships, permission systems, or new access programs, the goal should be to maintain a balance where respect goes both ways. Landowners feel their property is valued, and the hunters still have opportunities to enjoy the tradition that's been part of their generation. And I agree with that. I mean, how do we get there? Right. And I'm just going to throw this out there, John. I feel that some states have better landowner relationships with their game and fish than some other states do. And
absolutely,
I think it starts there. I think the relationship between a state organization and land value and landowners should be first and foremost a very big push. And I think that's missing in some areas.
Well, I think so too. I've always said I think that the game and fish should have probably like 10 guys going out and trying to mend the fences that have been done. They should have community meetings and honestly listen. to what's being said, not just lip service and talk to these guys and then go meet with them, kind of like a landman in the oil companies. You go out and visit with them, you have a cup of coffee with them, whatever they're doing. We got to figure out something, because that gentleman is completely right. Things have changed, and you can't blame the landowner. You look at us, we have 2,000 acres, and we probably, between ourselves, our family, our friends, you got, a dozen people deer hunting it, and that's all it can handle.
Mm-hmm.
And with families, deer hunting wasn't so big back when we were kids. It was more just kind of like go out and shoot a couple deer. It was no big deal, but things have changed. And so we do have to come up with some different things. And I think there's some programs we could possibly do to open up some of this land, whether we look at some of the block management like Montana has done. But I do believe it needs to be managed so it's just not open
right.
Like nonstop, because then it's not good for anybody. You want people to have quality hunt, and a quality hunt is maybe having 10 guys a year deer hunt it instead of having 50 guys go through it every day, kind of like the plots land. When you have a guy pheasant hunt it every day, is it very good?
Yeah.
So I think there's some things we could do, and I think we need to sit down at the table, the ranchers, the farmers, and the game and fish, and come up with something.
Yeah. You look at the plots program, which it started out as a great program. It really did. And then you got some people that take advantage of it. And you see like the plots that's next to me over here is just hunted so heavily. And deer season, I mean, it's just a pumpkin patch of orange out there. And there's no way that there's that many deer that are going to be taken off of that area. And but it's then you're going to have people sign in and check in, and you can only have so many. Who's going to be watching over all that? Who's going to want to do that?
Yeah, it's like I said, I know that Montana has, both. I think it's 1 and 2. It's 1, you just sign in. The 2, you have to get permission and set up the date that you're coming in. So they kind of manage it. And it's, I don't know. I think, and some of it too, I get frustrated because, I live along this core land, and there's some phenomenal hunting. I never see anybody hunting it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why, because there's tons of pheasants, there's deer. Well, there used to be deer, but they'll come back at some day. But it's great country. So I don't know what the answer is to all this. But again, I think we have to somehow sit down at the table. It's like this baiting or this feeding law that's going on.
Yeah.
I think this could have all been solved by the game and fish sitting down at the table with these organizations, these guys in the orange. If they'd have sat down and maybe come up with some give and take, so we're not battling this out in the legislation.
Yeah. Well, it all comes down to where the money too. I mean, it's a money thing. And I want to get these in before the program here. We only got a couple minutes here. In Minnesota, you can shoot year round with thermal, and they don't need a license or even a conservation stamp to go after coyotes that way. So cool. Let's see. The regulations prohibit picking up EHD skulls. Doesn't make sense either. And I guess I'm not sure on that. I didn't know there was regulations on that. I know you need to have a skull, a deadhead.
You gotta have, yeah, that's what he's talking about. Okay. The deadhead.
Yeah. Let's see. I agree. My son and I are always grateful for landowners that allow us to come hunt. We usually hunt public land, occasionally get on some private, but we're always grateful for landowners that let us in. And that's the way it should be, right? I mean, should be thankful for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So coming up, very quickly, tell us a little bit about the television program. You guys are still going at it, 23 years strong. And I guess you can, what social media platforms can you find it on? Because not everybody has the same television. So
right.
Well, let's go social media wise.
You can go to YouTube and find it there. And then there's also a channel called KOTV channel. It's out of Minnesota. The guy streams it on the Roku channel for us. But mainly you go to YouTube, you'll find it. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're not doing anything today, hey dog, the boys are doing a seminar down at the sports show in Bismarck, so I can stop and say hi to Kurt and Jason.
Yeah, go down and say hi to those folks. And we're still waiting for you to be this big TikTok dance phenom here. When are you going to do that?
I can guarantee I'll never be on TikTok.
Guarantee it? Really?
Guarantee it. I have trouble doing Facebook in Instagram. I'm a one-man band here, buddy, and I don't have time to be doing some dances. If you're going to see me dancing, it's going to be on Instagram.
Well, you can make a lot of social media platforms. Instagram is one of the biggest ones still. So you can still do it there and do the trend, do the hunting trend, the John Arman hunting trend. I think it'll catch on. I really do. People have questions if they want to talk to you personally. Are you available to take that too?
Oh, absolutely. And I got my phone number, 701-391-2438, and call me anytime. My email is on Facebook and on Instagram, so you can get a hold of us anytime you want.
All right. Got some questions for the after show, so stick with me. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures, thank you for your time. Have yourself a good weekend, everybody. Stay warm out there. It's going to be a cold one. Eat some meat, drink some milk. Make sure to wear fur and wool, and enjoy your weekend. See ya. All right, stations, thank you. We're going to give them a little bit here, John, before, so make sure that they got it clicked off. I don't know if it's Jamie or Clay. They said, what's the main difference between Facebook and Instagram?
I would say that Facebook is more for the older people, and there's more conversation on there. If I put something out there about, does this deer look the same as this picture of this deer? Is this the same deer I got, on this picture? And you'll get a bunch of people responding. Instagram, nothing. It's just all pictures and likes.
Okay. Yeah. That was Jamie asking that. Jamie's like the new social media guru. He's I don't know. He's going to start making that big bucks off of PayPal. They're going to be dumping millions of dollars in his accounts here pretty quick.
There you go.
Yeah.
I get like 95 cents like a month or something like that from YouTube.
95 cents.
And they sent me a what do you call it? A 1099 form or whatever at the end of the year for like $20. I'm like, man, I don't think I've hit it big yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Holy cow. I tell you what, it's a bitter one here for the next few days. I'm looking at this. We're looking at 30 below here Monday, Tuesday.
I know. It's like brutal.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be done with it. I saw it warm up like the next week. I think the middle of the week it gets starting to go up again.
Here it's like Thursday, Friday. It starts back into the teens and 20s.
Yeah, it's been cold. I know that. But it's amazing. My wife always worries about our horse. I'm like, he didn't even stand in the barn. He stands out behind the trees, and he's got frost. I said, if they got frost on their back, that's called insulation.
Yep.
So it's like your roof. If your roof has got frost up there and nothing's melting, that means you got insulation.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's how I check my cows all the time too. If they got frost on their backs, if they don't, something's wrong with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing how they can survive. And then I look at those stupid turkeys up in the trees. God almighty, how they don't just tip over. I mean, they got a bunch of them again here. They come through here, and it's like like I said, it's a kiddie pool for the kids. I told them, I said, I said, you can shoot your turkey here. Yeah. No adults allowed.
Yeah. Jamie says he wishes he's making all the big bucks. He said Facebook just dinged him again for falsely claiming that they're gun dealers.
He said he's a gun dealer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to sell a knife on there. That didn't go very well. I didn't know you couldn't sell a knife. It's not a weapon. It's a tool.
Josh is asking you, are you going to go to the 3D shoot in Dickinson next weekend? My son Brody and I are headed over, going on Sunday.
Tell him I would like to, but I don't have a bow yet. I sold mine, and mine hasn't come in yet. So I'm bowless.
Jay Berg says, if vegetables are so good, explain to me why vegans are always trying to make them taste like meat.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like I said, I can't even imagine.
No. Jamie asked if I want to come on the stream. They're doing a stream tonight. Possibly. I think it depends on what time it is, but yeah, we'll see. See what happens.
I think we need to go out there sometime when he does his little celebrity shoot thing when they're shooting at like the doe head at 150 yards.
Yeah, but you got to remember, if it's a celebrity thing, he's not going to ask you or I to come.
Well, whatever he had out there, I was watching him shoot the doe heads that he had with tannerite or something on them. And somehow he rigged it so he won it.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I think he was messing with people's turrets or something.
Yeah. I can't believe that, YouTube dings me on a regular basis. I've been okay here for the last year now, so they haven't been doing a whole lot to me, but maybe it's because Jamie started this and doing all those short videos. They're going after him maybe more than me.
There you go. I just hate the thing I hate about YouTube is because my music rights. I have all my music rights,
right,
but then I gotta upload license and all that. So I just say don't monetize. I could care less.
Yeah.
Don't monetize because I'm not gonna re-edit my show with YouTube music or something else, and I'm not uploading a bunch of.
Yeah.
Because even when I upload, I remember when I uploaded it and I told them I had it. They said, "No, you don't." And I'm like, "Here's the license," and I'm like, "I just can't handle that."
Yeah. Josh says he got a new used bow and had to get strings on, so he was bowless for a couple weeks. He was hating life without his bow. Raised at full draw, created a monster with him.
And I think I'm thinking I got the right people because it's his son killed his. I want to say his first deer this year, second deer with his bow. He's quite the archer. And I think he's like a heck of a shot too. Like he's like tearing it up in some of these shoots and things like that. So it's nice to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's at camp this year again.
Second $2, he said. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. I'm telling you, it's good that you do that raised at full draw class. You do that with the kids. You get them interested in it. It's still nice to see people doing that for the right reasons, John. Instead of how can we make money off of this, right? Everybody's about making the money, and it's nice just to do it,
It is. It's like I always say. It's kind of like it's. I'm trying to give back something. I've been lucky and fortunate to do what I've been doing. And, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the kids. I'd like to find someone to take over the camp so I could be more relaxed because that gets a little stressful trying to raise the money and all that. But, which I got to start doing now.
Yeah. Josh says he's worried that you won't let him come back since he's so good with his bow.
Nope. We're just going to put him in his own. He's going to have to compete against the adults.
He said he was second overall. Score last shoot at Nishu was 290.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I think. Yep. I was talking to one of the guys, and he said that he's just been tearing it up. So we're going to have him shoot again. So we can get Zach Kemmer there. We're going to bring in some ringers. For us, we're going to set up a separate field just for Brody.
Yeah, there you go. You got to do a professional level and an amateur level. So
yeah, because we usually we go 10, 20, and 30, and I think we're going to have one that's going to be 30 and out to 70 for that kid.
Well, I suppose I procrastinated long enough to go feed cows. So
now you can go outside where it's warm since you're in your office.
Yeah, I'm going to go do my therapy, my cold therapy outside.
Yep, there you go.
Get the swelling out of my joints.
Oh, you have to go out with just in your boxers. That's all.
No.
Shirtless, pants. You got to do in your boxers. That's the therapy. Can't have anything on your skin. The more skin you have open, the better it is.
Well, here's the thing. I could get away with just my legs. My legs don't really get cold, but my feet and my hands, Lord have mercy.
No, and
I have yet to find any shoes or any gloves that will keep me warm.
Yep, that cryotherapy. When you go in there, you have to have your shoes on there, and then you have to have gloves, and then you have to have a hat on, for your ears. And I went the first time I went in, I just went in my skibbies, and all I know is that after about a minute and 15 seconds, the old, what was getting a little bit. So I got myself another pair of shorts to go on over top. I didn't know where to put my hands on my face or on my junk.
You had thermal underwear on.
And that's what you need.
Good grief. None of that sounds fun, John. I'm sorry. Good for you with the less inflammation, but I'll take inflammation over having missing my genitals. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, buddy, I appreciate it once again. I can't thank you enough for all you're doing. Like I said, you're pretty amazing. Pretty amazing, all the things that you got your hands in and that you're doing and helping the community and farming and ranching and all the stuff that you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Hopefully things in the next month will even be better.
All right. Well, good luck with everything.
All right. Have yourself a good one, man.
You too, buddy.
You
Take
bet.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
YouTubers, appreciate you guys hanging with me here. Thank you so much. And try alpaca socks. Okay, I will. Because I've been wearing wool socks and that doesn't help either. So I don't know. Cold plunge. Yeah, I don't want to do that. All right. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. I'm going to go get some cows fed. We'll see you later. See you on the next week side of things.